Welcome to this episode 49 of Retention Zone, special episode from the real beach of Monaco. So this is not a background, it's true. So I'm here for Sportel Monaco. Many years I'm coming here, and this year I'm super curious to see what's cooking. I already saw some difference from the past, bigger booth on the main floor, more content and speaking panels. I will do a workshop AI with SVG um, on Wednesday. But this episode, I want to talk about something that sparked my attention, and it was an article from the New York Times. This article from the New York Times is basically talking about how everyone got lost in Netflix endless library. And it's not only about, when you spend an hour deciding what to watch on Netflix, and it seems you already have watched everything and you don't know what to watch next, etc. But it's going deep in what it means in terms of impact, both for the company, for the business, for streaming, and for the audience. I'll give you a link and a summary of the article. Don't read this, it's too much, but they really go deep. And I think, okay, if that's true for Netflix, and we could call it entertainment, I'm not a big fan of saying that entertainment is one thing and sport is another, but this is what I'm doing today to contradict myself. So the idea is to go through a series of thoughts that I had by reading the article and comparing entertainment and sports, even if, again, I know it's not correct, but just for the exercise. And I try to be a bit positive on the world of sports. So a lot of things I'm saying are totally debatable and challenged, that can be challenged like heavily. The first thing is, when streaming was introduced, there was this moment, I felt a moment of freedom or the allure of infinite choice. On the entertainment, you think, wow, now I can watch whatever I want, whenever I watch, on what device I want to watch. So the utopia of endless entertainment at our fingertips was a bit the promise of the streaming revolution. Obviously, it became a bit more complex. Infinite choice means also a lot of streaming services. So there is a dark side of that we all know well. But for sports, it also meant, oh, now I can globally access sports whenever it happens live with a lot of extra content because it's digital, it's not linear TV. So, wow, this will be an amazing experience for sport. Again, promise delivered. I'm not, I'm not fully sure, but that's definitely what especially us in the industry thought, okay, this is a huge opportunity, both for the audience, for the fans, and for us in the business of it. Second, immediately we enter the paradox of too much content. And again, I'm focusing on streaming. You definitely have to put social media on top of that. And I think a lot of the things that we are saying here, very often social media is even a bigger, I don't want to say threat or challenge, but a bigger place where issues are coming up. So clearly, even in entertainment, viewers are inundated with option, not only because at some point the streaming giants started producing content like crazy, and now they're big production forces, but it's difficult to decide. So again, the discovery is becoming crucial. Nobody's implemented the real universal search. If maybe you have to go on Google and find if you have an idea for a movie or anything where it is streamed. So definitely too much content is great, but not so great. In sports, I think it's a bit easier. So, and again, being a bit simplistic if you want, the structure, nature of sport, the season, the games, especially live sport, and also the fan passion. Yeah, you can have a platform with 10,000 sports, but I may care about 3 or 5, and then maybe there is an Italian, in my case, doing well in Taekwondo during the Olympics. I may watch Taekwondo, but I think it is less of a problem in sports, to be honest, in this case. So I see an advantage there. There has been an impact on cultural cohesion. This is, if you want, if you worry about, the well-being of people and how they get together and humanity in general. Obviously, the fact that everybody's served personalized content and also viewing is very fragmented, obviously super asynchronous in this case. So it may diminish a bit this community aspect of, watching together or being involved in things together. Clearly, live sport is almost the opposite. If we know that live is not the only way sports is consumed these days, there's a lot of, from the Drive to Survive on, there's a lot of great content that is not live, and more content, non-live content is created. But still, You may remember the Olympics or other events this summer. They really bring a global community together. So that's also an area in which maybe sport has a little advantage. Um, the economic implication of streamings have been huge. We're still discussing pay TV, linear, broadcast, streaming, blah, blah, blah. But for sure, it has been a disruption. Not a complete disruption for now. It takes time for this shift to happen. But for sure, monetizing what is produced, which is more and more in competition. So people are really spending massive amount of money to produce amazing content. It also increased subscription fatigue, and the high production costs are competing forces, right? So at the beginning, there were a few streaming services. You would be happy because you would spend a lot less than before with pay TV, but then you realize now, if you really want to have a complete entertainment diet, you need to have Netflix, Prime, Disney Plus, and more, right? On sport, saying that there are no economic implications. So clearly, I think we're still seeing that the unique value of live sport, especially. But sport also is a storytelling engine, allows for premium pricing and sustainable revenue models. This can be debated for, we can do a workshop and 3 panels just on this. This is a very positive, optimistic statement, maybe not so true. But for sure, sport, especially lately, when everything is bundling and rebundling, sport is the must-have for most of these streaming giants, I think. Technology has played a huge role in this disruption. Even if we're talking about entertainment content, we're talking about sports, not inherently something to do with technology itself. But if not for mobile technology, social media, the advent of streaming on big screen, etc., I don't think this ecosystem would have changed, to be honest. And on one end, if in an entertainment, I think the biggest, apart from streaming itself, which shared between both, the production cost and timing with technology is maybe very different. The way content is produced for entertainment is very different because of technology. On the other end, the experience, apart from the standard streaming features, I think some have tried and failed. It's still watching, a series or a movie. Not a lot of enhancement, in my view, on the fun viewing side of things. But on the sports side, at least there's a potential. I think there is a lot of things we could have done, we could still do, but I think adoption of this enhanced feature of immersive, and I'm not talking global things like that, but immersive as a more wider term of making sport more interactive. The promise is still there. There is a lot of potential. Have we collectively found the right solution that really get adopted for a lot of people? I'm not sure, but I think again, technology can play a bigger role in sports also in this case. And a bit the fact that maybe because of social media getting a lot of the attention, a lot of the time spent with infinite scrolling and all these unhealthy habits that I too have, to be really honest, um, I think both entertainment and sport have to reconnect with an audience. I think sport has an inherently stronger structural community aspect, the short timing of events, and this connection with the audience, because the connection, the loyalty to the brand, I think it's stronger in sport and entertainment. Debatable, I agree. And some original series and some characters, some actors may drive the same, community involvement that sport athletes and club have. And let's also talk about sustainability and ethical consideration. Obviously, social media is maybe the biggest worry in that sense, in terms especially of the habits of infinite scrolling, being addicted. So there's a lot about social media there, but also streaming. On one hand, the environmental impact of streaming with the cloud consumption, but also the well-being of viewers. There is some responsible practice that streaming companies are asked to follow. On the other hand, if some of those are shared in sport, maybe piracy and hate speech, I think are the main concerns. So not that sports is doing that better than entertainment in this field, I would say. So what is the future of streaming? I think clearly the media side, the entertainment side, is in a constant moment of flux. Competition intense, and To beat competition, you have to be unique, you have to distinguish, so you really need to invest in innovation and content, which, like we are seeing now, may lead to consolidation to be big enough to have a big bundle offer enough that you can become the one choice, maybe of the two or three, not of the 7 or 10 in streaming. On one hand, to be super positive because we're in Monaco in front of the sea and a beautiful beach, uh, live sport is kind of irreplaceable because it positioned this industry in a way that they will always be needed to really engage audiences. And possibly we have a great future, but there are so many challenges. So this is like a statement that asks for debate for sure. So thank you. This was a weird episode of Retention Zone, but I wanted to discuss a bit and review the things and also see what will happen at Sportel Monaco and see what I can come out of that with some other ideas and opinions with talking to all the professionals that I will meet today and tomorrow. Thanks. Ciao.